This is Lawrence Ventura, also known as a Punk with Toys on Instagram, and today I'm going to go over the G.I. Joe Retro Grunt. This is a Walmart exclusive. If you follow me, and I'll put a link into it, I have recently done the Cobra Officer. I've done a few of the other ones, but the Officer and Grunt came out together. I was able to find the Officer a couple weeks ago. I actually found another one yesterday, and this morning I finally came across actually all of them: Grunt, Stalker, the Trooper, and the Officer. But like I said, I will put a link to the Cobra Officer in the video. So anyway, if you like the video, we'll start off. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Any comments, constructive criticism, I definitely do appreciate. Anyway, let's quickly take a look at our artwork. And there is our Grunt art, and anyone that is in their 40s is going to remember that. And I'll tell you what, this was a lot of people's first action figure, first G.I. Joe figure. And on the back, we have our file card. It obviously is a little bit different. Original file card was down here and had the figures. But again, you have this nostalgic feeling when you see it. And the artwork is pretty much the same. Very generic looking guy. Now they did change his name to Robert Grunt Graves. That was his name, but they didn't have that on there. And actually, someone did post on, I want to say it was my breaker video, that the reason they do this is due to Hasbro losing the actual copyrights or using the trademarks to Grunt or to Breaker or to whoever it is, and that's why they put their full name. I don't know if that's true or not, but it actually probably sounds like it's something very plausible. So anyway, there's our art. I'm going to quickly over that when we're taking another look at it. And here's our figure. And honestly, he may be one of the ugliest figures they've ever made. He is a great army builder, though. This is a perfect green shirt. When you look at it, he's got his M16, he's got his backpack, and he's got his pistol. It comes with a knife. So this is our Grunt. Got a helmet, and again, they do a real nice job for what they're doing. So we're gonna take a look at this figure. We're gonna compare him to the original 80s figure that I do have. We're gonna take a look at him compared to the Retro Stalker, so you guys can see exactly how they're able to put out two figures back to back, the same way they did the Officer and the Cobra Trooper. So let's take a quick look at this figure, and I'll show you a couple things. All right, so I'm going to quickly take a look at our packaging. As you can see, I've already taken them off the blister. And I'll tell you what, I actually found out on this Officer, and you can see how the blister looks on this one too, and how this one is. And one of the things that I did do for this was, with this one, I tried the blow dryer method to loosen it up and slowly peel it off, and it worked extremely well, to be honest. Took a little bit of time. I mean, not all that much. You just heat it up and it slowly peels off. So if you like keeping your cards, that's a nice, easy way to do it. The Grunt, I literally just left him in the window of my car while I was working, and then I just slowly peeled it off. And you can see how easily it came off. I'm actually gonna try when I get some of the Motu with the hair dryer, see if it can peel off easier than I was trying to, because I like to keep the cards. So if you're someone who keeps the cards and you don't want to just rip it all off, the hair dryer method seems to work pretty well. So here we go. Take a look at our Grunt, and this just screams 1982, 83, 84. I forget exactly. I think 82 was the original one. Again, This is a little bit different, no real American hero, but the figure artwork looks the same. You can see how big this is. I know people have complained about how big the packaging is. Someone actually stuffed a 6-inch figure, Cobra Officer, Cobra Trooper in it, which I actually found kind of funny, but they do fit if you really want to. Here's your back, and they're kind of giving you, even though this is a two-figure wave, it looks like this is actually what the wave is supposed to be. So you have your Commander, Duke, Lady J, Stalker, Trooper, and Officer, and Grunt. So they actually don't put Grunt, or, you notice here, they don't put the Officer on it. They just, you have that on the file card. So, file card tells you, you know, exactly who he is and everything. Columbus, Ohio. And I'm from Michigan, so that. Anyway. No ranking. Again, that's kind of one of those things that does kind of bother me. If I remember correctly, he was an E4 because he was, again, a grunt. So, let's take a look at the figure. We're going to compare him to the original figures, and here we go. Alright. Let's get this a little bit closer, and we'll start off with just showing you that the M16 is maybe the nicest M16 they've made so far. It really gives you a feel for what the M16 kind of looked like. I always thought, even back in the day, that this M16 was a little too small. And pop this bad boy out, and you can take a look at the two, and you can see one is a bit larger than the other. And this is my original Grunt from when I was a kid, at least one of them. My original one was a straight arm, if I remember correctly. So, I always did like the curved stock on the M16 when they had it. But this M16 actually looks really nice. It is soft, like a lot of the guns, so it is kind of chintzy. But, oh well, it's kind of what we've come to expect here. So, Grunt has his sidearm, a little 45 pistol, I believe, and he has the knife right here, slides out, and I did put it in upside down, same way that it shows here. So, his helmet does come off. Again, he's not any prettier without the helmet. Matter of fact, like I said, this may be the ugliest figure that I have ever seen Hasbro make. And that is saying a lot because some of these girls are pretty ugly that they've made. So, but the original Grunt, as you can see, was not a real pretty figure. So, so I can't stress this enough. And that is to soak these in hot water, because I've already seen so many of them break. And his ankle joints here, one of them was super stiff. It still is a little stiff here, and I'm scared that I'd break it if you move it too much. Alright, but I had soaked in hot water, and there is double knee joints here. But this joint here was completely solid. So I had to soak them in hot water a couple times. And same with the leg swivel right here. This didn't want to move at all. So soak these things in hot water, you know, about a minute. And then he's going to be super soft. And you can bend him pretty easily for the most part. These knee joints, again, there's only so much that they can move on a 4-inch figure. Alright, so I'm on the peg and we can compare them, and you're going to see, I think they did a really nice job of matching the colors. It's a great video here, isn't it? watch me try and put a figure on the peg. So anyway, we'll take a look, and first things first, you're just gonna see they did the boots brown. Here he has clearly better laces, but here was the same thing. It was green laces here, all the way up. It's got green. Both have pockets on the side here. So they're trying to do a real good job of making sure these figures look like they did before. Here you go, even in the pockets on the side of his arms here. It's a lighter green. Same with the ones on his arms here. So you take a look at the front of them. Both have the knives. This is a This is a removable knife. This one obviously is not. Grenade is not removable here, but you have the grenade here, and you have the brown straps to go over. You have your helmet. They even put the little ear holes for the visor, because that's what all the original helmets had. The only thing that he has here that this other one, the original doesn't, is a sidearm. So you have the sidearm, then you have your backpack, which looks obviously bigger. This one here is more like a little girl's pack that she carries to school, where this one here, you actually look like it has the ability to carry some actual stuff. All right, there's your original, but you can tell it's made to look like this one, but obviously they made it bigger because, let's be honest, you ain't carrying very much around in here. But so this pack was made to look like a real infantry pack. All right, so if you like the way Grunt looked, if you want green shirts, you want army builders, this is actually the perfect guy for it. And again, they had a whole bunch of them. I think you can be able to find these all over real shortly. So now let's take a look at Nexus Stalker. And the thing about it is, he is the exact same mold as Stalker. The only difference is the head, boom, and the paint apps. They both have this like sweater. They are the exact same figure all the way down to the harnesses. Stalker does not come with a backpack, but everything else is the exact same. Cantina on the side right here. Obviously, Stalker's is black. So you actually really could, if you wanted to do customs, easily make a custom, change around some of the, black straps here, give them one a backpack. But they're the exact same figure. By quickly looking at them, you wouldn't be able to tell. But this isn't really much that's too new when you think about it. The original Joes were done the same way. But yeah, backpack for him. Now I'll tell you what. As I stand these figures up, they definitely have an issue standing straight up. So I guess that's one complaint I guess you could have about the retros here. They don't really stand that straight. You have both pegs in. A little difficult, but anyway. So there's your Stalker and your Grunt. As you can see, they're all the same. Different head sculpt. That's about it. Everything else is the exact same. Per figure. Obviously one is camouflaged, and one is black, one is white, but that's the only difference on these figures. All right, so let's wrap this up. All right, so there we go. There is your G.I. Joe Retro Grunt This is a Walmart exclusive, so it's the only place you're gonna find it. I know Hasbro Pulse had some. Not sure where you find them outside of the U.S. Not sure if Toys R Us carries them up in Canada, but here, these are Walmart exclusives. Again, I do like this figure as a cheap, generic. Well, Grunt was always cheap and generic, and no one really thought too much of him. But he's an army builder. You take a look at him again. Maybe the ugliest G.I. Joe that's ever been made. I mean, that is really one ugly mug. To be honest, I don't think they really do nearly. I mean, this guy here, he just looks like an angry guy. This guy looks like he's hit every tree on the ugly tree, every branch on the ugly tree as he fell down. I do like the gun. I like the trigger fingers. Again, he is the same as the Stalker mode. You know, he does come with his, you know, little plate. Tells you that he's Grunt. But again, these are going to be good army builders. You know, I know Super 7 has their reaction line coming out. 5 points of articulation for $18. These ones sell for, I believe, is $13. So I guess it depends. You know, if you want an army builder, this is him. You got 2 different Cobra army builders with the trooper and the officer. I was going to pick up another one, but I decided to just go with one of him because I have enough green shirt grunts and other figures that I've picked up over the years. I wasn't sure if I really wanted some more right now. I have so many figures. I'll be doing a video of the G.I. Joe room at the end of the year. But again, he does look nice. You know, better backpack than the original, better M16. But he looks like Grunt. I think they did a really nice job deciding that. So, anyway. And again, remember, especially these retro figures are small. They come in a bunch of articulations. Soak them in hot water. Don't let them snap. All right? I know it's frustrating because our original vintage guys, I mean, here it is. This guy is, you know, 1982, 83, all right? You know, he's still stiff. You know, he moves. You know, you don't really have to worry about too much breaking. You know what's going to break his crotch or his thumbs. But they want to give these as much articulation as possible, which is nice and bad all at the same time. You know, you have Super 7 who's going to come out with an $18 figure that gives you 5 points of articulation. That's 1980 Star Wars technology. I don't want that. This might be a little bit too much technology, to be honest. They're trying to fit in almost as much articulation as a 6-inch classified figure, and I just don't think it does its best for what they could give us with the figure, and it's real soft plastic. But it sits in in the case, and it hardens up. And again, people have talked about using the hair dryer. I'm not sure if that works. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I think just hot water for 60 seconds. Pop it out, boom. Move everything around, and for the most part, you'll be good to go. So especially, because I do know that there are kids buying these. If there's any dads, moms watching this, or kids that they get a hold of this, make sure you soak these things in water. Break them all. Make sure all their joints kind of crack and break. Not break, but crack and just boom, move. And then you should be good. So, anyway. Packaging looks wonderful for anyone in their 40s that remembers. God, I can remember the first commercial. I can remember exactly where I was sitting the first time I saw a G.I. Joe commercial, what I was doing. I was sitting there playing with Star Wars and the Lone Ranger and Tonto. That's what I remember. And I remember turning around, looking at my dad and going, "Hey, can I get one of those?" And the first time I saw one, and the rest was history. G.I. Joe, even though I collected other toys throughout my childhood, G.I. Joe was always number one. And again, if you see my other videos, you'll see the collection and a lot of the figures and vehicles that I still have from my childhood. I'm rambling, which means it's time for me to go. Again, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on Instagram for my toys, it's a Punk with Toys. I post all my toys that I get when I make new displays, when I change my rooms around, different things like that. And there are figures that I don't do reviews on, believe it or not, that I just like to display. So I do post all my toys there. So again, a Punk with Toys on Instagram. I keep rambling, which means it's time for me to go and get out there. Happy hunting and have a great night.